Good morning. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So far, my day has not had a long start to it. I've only been up a little while, seen my husband off to work. My name is Eleanor. If you're new to my channel, I go by Radically for Jesus on YouTube. Been on here a long time. I make videos for homemakers, homeschoolers. One of the biggest topics that I cover is the head covering, modest dress, and faith-based videos. I also have a few sewing videos tossed in there, and in the occasional vlog. It's kind of a mismatch. If any of those things are of interest to you, hang around. If you like what you see, click like and then subscribe if you're interested. So on to this video. Today I actually want to talk about something I think a lot of us in our modern age can probably relate to, which is especially when you're posting on Facebook, if you have a Facebook account. If you're not, this can still apply to things like Google or any kind of a social media where you're interacting and engaging with other people. And particularly, I have in mind Facebook. If you're out there and you see comments that you disagree with, which like every day we all do, right? You know, who doesn't? How are you responding? I want to think about that today. Are we stirring the pot? And I know we've kind of talked about this kind of stuff on here before, and we'll probably be talking about it off and on a lot more, because I think all these things are a big deal. Our online presence is our witness just as much as our day-to-day interactions when you go to the grocery store are. How we interact and talk with people online matters. I really, really believe that. And I think a lot of us, and this does include myself as always, if you know me very well, you know that I am a flawed person too. So I am not perfect, and I'm not trying to preach to you all, so to speak. I don't even really believe in doing that. But I do want to share and encourage us to be better, to do better than what we currently do. I know I catch myself all of the time, and I mean literally every day that I go out and I look, be it Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, I will see these things that I emphatically disagree with, or think, you know what, I really don't agree. I think this person is, kind of on the misguided side, but I love them, but I really, really want to say something and just let them know I don't agree with them. But I think we have to think before we speak, and in this case, think before we type. I think we gotta really be careful, be thoughtful in what we say, make sure the Holy Spirit is in what we say. And I think that's a good question to ask ourselves. Is the Holy Spirit in it? Because my guess is if you were about to type a big old snarky comment to somebody in response to maybe their political belief or a belief on a particular thing that's very polarized, and you think, oh, I'm going to put a little sarcastic comment because maybe that's the first thing that pops in your brain. I fully and freely admit I have a very sarcastic brain. I fight that all of the time, more than I am happy about. It's not a trait that I'm happy that I have. I used to be very prideful about my sarcasm, but it plagues me. And I say plagues me because there's really not much of anything fruitful in it, especially if you're out there commenting online and commenting on your friends and your family's posts, or even strangers. Like maybe your local news organization shares something and people are commenting and you want to put something super duper mean and snappy on there. Believe me, I want to too. But it really doesn't do any good. All it does is it starts a fight, which consumes your precious and valuable time, takes time from your family. If you're like me and a homemaker and a homeschooler, I have no reason to really sit and be chatting with a fight online with a stranger. Where's the fruit in that, right? That is a waste of time, and it's taking precious time from my babies if I do that. So I make it a point to try not to do that anymore. I admit I have engaged in those things in the past. like on maybe like your local news channel 3 or whatever that may be for you, and you see all these posts on a hot topic like abortion or vaccines or whatever, and then you reply some kind of snarky reply because someone is really wrong, and you put that out there, and then they reply and you reply, and then all of a sudden you are sucked in and you are engaged in this fight with a complete stranger on a topic that you're never going to change their opinion, and it's never really going to matter. It's not going to produce any fruit. If you had asked yourself before you started doing that and said, is the Holy Spirit in my comment that I'm about to make? We probably would never make the comment, right? And I think that's an important question to ask ourselves. Paramount, is the Holy Spirit in this before I say it? Will it edify someone? Will it help someone? Will it even convince them? I'm not saying you have to agree with people all the time and edify them all the time. Obviously not. There's that time for that iron sharpens iron. But you have to pick the situations carefully, because it's not super duper likely that you're going to sharpen the iron of a complete stranger who you engaged with the fight on the internet. There are times and places for debate, but choose them wisely. Make sure that what you're doing is fruitful. I think that all the time. Is there fruit in this? Once in a great while, you might find something where it is. Not saying you won't ever. Occasionally you might. But my guess is 95, maybe 98% of the times that we go out there online and we engage in these little debates and fights and tit for tats, and half the time where they're with strangers, most of the time all it does is steal your time, and that's very valuable and precious time, and we don't want to do that. It's also a piece of your heart, a piece of your mood. Not good to do, because if you're like most humans, you spread that around to your family. You end up feeling contentious and grouchy and cranky because you've been fighting all day. I think that's really a tool of Satan, to be honest with you. I really do. I think he wants us to get all stirred up. The verse that came to my mind with all of this today was in Matthew chapter 5, and I know you've all probably heard it, and it's verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. So when we're out there posting online, do our posts and our words fit within this verse? Are we being peacemakers, or are we being pot stirrers? Are we stirring that contentious pot just for fun, just because it pleases and gratifies our flesh to go out there and say, hey, I disagree with you, you're wrong? I mean, people will fight over the craziest things. I had a story this last week. It kind of blew my mind, and if I had to cut a video there, the alarm on my phone went off, which killed the video. I'm just cheating and filming on my phone today. Anyway, I was going to share with you a funny story about this. This last week on Facebook, if you're friends with me, you probably already seen it. It was the strangest thing. First off, I tend to accept quite a lot of friend requests from people I don't know very well. I sometimes will restrict who can see what, but regardless, for reasons of faith, I'm pretty open about who I accept. But I also tend to only accept people with a fairly high number of mutuals. So this person comes along, and to be honest with you, I've already forgotten her name. I really don't even remember the name. I was literally friends with her about a day, maybe two. Was not at all, obviously, anyone I was close to or very familiar with. And the most innocuous thing I posted, it was about having a fried cabbage for dinner, and the person got really, really upset with me over fried cabbage because they disagreed with me so passionately, and they had to say it, and I tried to chit-chat and be nice in my own way. In fact, at first, I kind of thought they were teasing, to be honest. I didn't really realize they were so serious. You know, it's cabbage, but they were really, really serious, and they got mad at me. And just because I feed my kids cabbage for dinner and made them eat that night, they were really, really upset about it. And in the end, they unfriended and blocked me over fried cabbage. And it blew my mind. And several people commented, you know, funny little things about it. You know, why on earth would you get mad and fight about cabbage? And that's kind of an extreme example. Not everybody does that sort of thing. But it was very strange. I have no idea. Maybe that person was having a bad day, and maybe they were not feeling themselves. I honestly don't know. Because again, I really didn't know the lady very well. But God bless her, she was really, really upset about the cabbage. And, that's okay. I'm not the least bit mad about it. It didn't really anger me. I was just kind of dumbfounded, to be honest with you. But it illustrates a point. And frankly, I kind of laugh just because it's just like, you might as well laugh about it. It is what it is. It illustrates the point, though. Why get so worked up about it? There's really no point in something like that, because what's it matter, But I think we do that a lot, and it's a good illustration for today. How often do we go out there and get really, really worked up about something that we disagree with, that someone else does or believes that is really of no consequence? Especially nowadays, everything's so polarized politically. But there are some things that I think are very important. I could go into some topics that I think it is worth getting worked up about, and is worth posting about, and it is maybe worth stirring the pot for. But there's a lot more of stuff out there that isn't. And the biggest thing I want to leave with you guys today, whether you're posting on someone else's page or your page or the page of some news media, when you post, ask yourself, is this going to be fruitful anyway? Because believe me, if you all knew how many things that I want to say and don't, kind of like Anna Green Gables, you'd give me some credit, right? So often I stop myself from saying things. I will literally have them typed out and then I hit delete. So often, that happens multiple times a day usually. But basically, I want you guys to remember, and of course, again, myself to remember, before we post, to please go ahead and think what we're going to say before we say it, and then before we dare hit enter, before you hit that little button and put it out there in Facebook land or YouTube land or whatever, is the Holy Spirit in this? What will this change if I say it? Will it help somebody, or will it make them feel angry? Am I just going to stir that pot? Am I going to cause hurt feelings? Am I going to cause angry feelings? Am I wasting time? Am I losing precious time from family? When I am out there online, I'm always struggling with that. Am I losing time from my family anyway? Or am I just taking a few minutes to, chill my brain out, rest and relax, communicate with family, things like that? I really believe, and I know, the last time I got a video up about Facebook, I had some flack for it. It's like, you shouldn't be on Facebook. It's a waste of time, and you're a tool if you use Facebook. Well, you know what? I still believe it is a tool, and I think it's a tool you can use wisely. And I don't think it's terrible or sinful if you do choose to use it. I do communicate with family with it, and I am grateful for the tool. I do think there's a lot of bad things about the tool. I think there's a lot of things I'm not fond of about the people who own that tool and the things that they choose to allow or disallow and so forth. But ultimately, I'm grateful that it's out there and that I can communicate with friends and family so easily. I mean, we live in an amazing age in that respect. But that comes with the price, and that comes with the price of making sure that we use it wisely. And again, I will probably touch on these things in the future, because everything is still new to us and our culture and the etiquette and the things that go on with it. And I think it's a struggle, and we're all trying to figure out that balance and how to use it well without, making a jerk of ourselves and damaging our witness and just being a decent human. I don't know. There's so many things that go on there, and I mean, you see such a wide gambit. You see people being emphatically cruel to each other, like really, really bad. You see people really, really being nice and lifting each other. You see every end of the spectrum you can imagine. I see so many of us, again, myself included, that we are not thinking before we choose to do or say certain things. Because I think if we really stopped and thought about it, yes, what we said may be absolutely spot on, perfect, true, and agree with it 1,000-fold, but it really just started an argument on your local news, or got you tit for tat with someone else for 15, 20 minutes of your time, maybe even more. It also probably really affected your mood, as I was saying earlier. At least if you're like me, those things do affect your mood usually. Sometimes I'm completely able to blow things off, like the whole cabbage thing last week. Did not really bother me or hurt my heart or anything. More of a few minutes of finding it kind of really amusing again, but yet I couldn't help but think, wow, what about this person they been having such a hard time that this really upset them so much. My empathetic side went out to her and felt sorry for her. But so I did spend time on that, for better or for worse. Time that really didn't matter in the end, since we ended up being unfriended and blocked. But the point is, with all of this and cabbage and Facebook and everything, is no matter what we're posting on, we just need to take care and say, is the Holy Spirit in this? Is this something I need to do? Is this going to be fruitful? Will it help someone? Will it edify someone? Or will it do that crucial thing that we also need, a sharpening iron? If so, absolutely post it. If it meets those criteria, you go for it. If there's a good purpose for it, if you really think what you're saying might have a chance of changing someone's mind or heart on a matter that's really important, by all means go for it. But don't fight over what's for dinner. Don't fight over things that just don't matter, that it's completely okay for someone else to have a different opinion on. That's fine. Not a big deal. Even if it is an important matter and something you do hope to change opinions on, and you feel like you have a shot, I guarantee you won't change that opinion if you're being mean and snarky. So keep that in mind too. You may be making the best, most valid arguments that you know how to make, and you can't possibly see how someone could logically work their way around your argument. But yet I guarantee you, if your argument is full of meanness and snarkiness, you will never reach that person. They will harden their heart off to what you're saying, and you won't reach them. You won't reach them. So keep that in mind. Lose the snark, even though it's fun sometimes and pleases our own flesh. It's almost never a good thing. Struggle so much with this on the inside. If you all only knew the snarkiness and the bad thoughts and the coarse joking that goes on in my brain. It's bad, y'all. Bad. But I fight it. I really do fight it. And I ask you to fight it with me. You fight it too. Make sure that what you post glorifies God and has the Holy Spirit in it. Have a very blessed day.